Bhakti Raghava Swami is Ananta Koti Vaishnavini, Panditi, Kampicharis, Vandeshri, Namasarya, Sri Navedas Thakurti, Samada Tabakti, Harinam Sankirtanaki, Rantaras Mahavadranki, 95 over, all ladies to be celebrities, all ladies to be celebrities, all ladies to be celebrities, all ladies to speak and to see Gauranga, all ladies to speak Om Agyanandasya Gyananjana Shavaya Pracharatam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Vishram Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Bhutale Vishya Before reciting this Bhagavatam, which is a religious conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the Supreme Being, unto Mother Saraswati, the Goddess of Learning, and unto Sri Vyasa Devi, the Author. Nastapayesha Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavati Tamashloke Bhakti Raghava Swami by regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the dear devotee. All that is troublesome within the heart will destroy the practice faith and live, and other devotional services unto the Supreme Lord who is praised with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahmasamhitam Utamashloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Yeshreyasaya Lokasya Nanyam Swastayanam Mahat. This Bhagavatam known as the Grantaraj, the king of all living creatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Sri Vyasa Devi. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Sarvaya Namaha Om Sarvaya Namaha Om Sarvaya Welcome everyone to the morning Bhagavatam class, and today we are reading from Canto number 1, chapter 7. Chapter 6, which is entitled Conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva, text number 32. It's not on the blackboard. Imam Vinam Swara Braham Vibhushitam Mursayidva Hari Katham Gayamanas Sarami Aham. Normally when there's a class, it should be available, or if the devotees can follow, it's Canto number 1, chapter 6, text 32. Okay. Devadattam imam dinam Svarabrahma Vibhushitam Mursayidva Hari Katham Gayamanas Charamyaham Devadattam imam dinam Svarabrahma Vibhushitam Mursayidva Hari Katham Gayamanas Charamyaham Devadattam imam vinam Svarabrahma Vibhushitam Mursayidva Hari Katham Gayamanas Charamyaham.
Devadattam imam vinam Svarabrahma vibhushitam Mursayidva harikatam Gayamanas charamyaham Devadattam imam
Veeram Radhamanushidam Musika Harikatam Devadatam Imam Veenam Varabrahmavidushidam Musika Harikatam Ladies. Devadattam Imam Veenam Varabrahmavidushidam Musika Harikatam Devadattam Imam Veenam Varabrahmavidushidam Musika Harikatam Devadattam Imam Veenam Varabrahmavidushidam Musika Harikatam Namaskaramyam. Devadattam Imam Veenam Varabrahmavidushidam Namaskaramyam. Jai. Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, Dattam, gifted by Imam, this, Veenam, a musical stringed instrument, Swara, singing meter, Brahma, transcendental, Vibhushitam, decorated with, Mushayitva, vibrating, Harikatham, transcendental message, Ayamana, singing constantly, Sarami, do move, Aham, I. Translation and report by Divine Grace is Bhakti Raghava Swami, Sri Prabhupada. And thus, I travel constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called a veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna, kindly give up to me, and thus I travel, constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called the veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. The musical stringed instrument called the veena, which was handed to Narada by Lord Sri Krishna, is described in the Linga Purana and this by Srila Jiva Goswami. This transcendental instrument is identical with Lord Sri Krishna, and Narada, because all of them are on the same transcendental, are of the same. All of them are of the same transcendental category. The sound vibration by the instrument cannot be material, and therefore the glories and pastimes which are broadcast by the instrument of Narada are also transcendental, without a tinge of material inebriety. The 7 singing meters, namely Sa, Sajja, Ri, Rishabha, Ga, Gandhara, Ma, Majjama, Pa, Panchama, Ha, I think we all know this here. In India, Panchama and Ha, Ayavada and Ni, Nishada, are also transcendental and specifically meant for transcendental song. As a pure devotee of Lord, Sri Narada Deva is always fulfilling his obligation to the Lord for his gift of the instrument, and thus he is always engaged in singing his transcendental glories, and is therefore infallible in his exalted position. Following in the footsteps of Srila Narada Muni, a self-realized soul in the material world should also properly use the sound meters, namely Sha, Ri, Ga, Ma, etc., in the service of the Lord by constantly singing the glories of the Lord as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Translation again. And thus I travel, constantly singing the transcendental glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called a veena, which is charged with transcendental sound, and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. To be given an instrument, a veena, directly by the Supreme Godhead Krishna, is something very special and very rare. But we should understand that all of us have been gifted by Krishna, isn't it? Whatever we have is given by Krishna. And specifically here, there is reference to sound vibration, especially transcendental sound vibration, and how all of the different aspects in Gandharva Loka, for example, everyone is expert in singing. The Gandharvas, that is their speciality. They are very expert singers and very expert dancers. That's why Narada Muni was also previously a resident of Gandharva Loka. He made a little mistake. Because of making a little mistake, he had to take birth as the son of a maidservant. And then, of course, because was fortunate to come in contact with Bhakti Siddhanta's saintly person. So he became the great Narada Muni. One of the important points that Prabhupada makes in the third point is that actually sound vibration. Every day whenever we speak, we are making sound, isn't it? Sound vibration is meant to be connected with Krishna. Sound vibration is meant to be utilized for the pleasure and satisfaction of Krishna. And it is only when we learn that art, Srivatam Swadama Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Rijantasto Yavatrani Vidunoti Swadhisatam. That is in the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's also mentioned here. Krishna Katha. Sound is meant to be in connection with Krishna. And if we practice, it is an art. If we practice that art, then, just like Prabhupada also mentions here, Narada Muni's veena, a musical instrument, because he's constantly using it in Krishna service. That veena is not different from Krishna. Sound vibration, when we utilize it in Krishna's service, for glorifying Krishna, for describing Krishna, for remembering Krishna, then it means we're connected, isn't it? We are connected with Krishna. And that is the whole purpose of this human form of life. Dogs and cats cannot connect with Krishna. If Vaishnavas are merciful and gives them a little bit of prasadam, then they begin their connection with Krishna. Actually, one of the duties and responsibilities of householders, as described also by Narada Muni in the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. One of the 5 activities, daily activities of householders, is to give an opportunity for less fortunate living entities. Less fortunate living entities means those who have not yet taken a human body. That's the majority of living entities actually in the world. Human beings are actually very few. We may say, well, so many billions, but start counting the grass. Start counting the trees. Of course, nowadays we have less trees. But there are so many other living entities in the material world. We are very, very small number, very rare. As mentioned by Prahlad Maharaj, Om Asayat Partu, Dharma, Bhagavatamina, Dulabam Manusham Janma. This Manusham Janma, this human birth is Dulabam, very, very rare. Only is it rare to get a human body, but also it is even more rare to come in contact with devotees, isn't it? So many people are getting human body on the planet, but how many are coming in contact with Krishna? How many people know about Krishna? Very few, isn't it? Manushyanam sahasreshu kasyajat. It is after Mahnam Janamati Vasudeva Samanati Samahatma Sudulabha. Same word is used, Sulabha. Not only Dulabha but Sudulabha. Extremely rare. So personalities like Narada Muni, who is one of our Mahajans. There are 12 Mahajans, 12 authorities. Mahasana, Jainagata, Sapanta. We're meant to follow in the footsteps of Mahasana. We're meant to hear from such great personalities. So hearing from Bhagavatam, that is also transcendental sound vibration. So here Narada Muni is in discussion with his disciples, Srimati Vyasadeva, who's another great personality, great authority, and explaining about how he was fortunate to be blessed directly by Krishna. All of us, we can also become blessed by Krishna. That should be our endeavor. We should every day making different efforts so that Krishna can look upon us favorably, so that he can bless us. He can bless us for what? Not to get a better job, or to get a nice wife, or to pass the exams at the college or university. But the blessing that we are seeking is to become good devotees. The blessings we are seeking is simply to be nicely engaged in the Lord's service. Unless we become engaged in Krishna service, unless we learn to properly utilize our tongue in speaking subject matters in relation to Krishna, then we cannot actually be happy. And all of us naturally want to be happy. But happiness is not to be found in this material world. Because happiness belongs, actual happiness is something that is beyond the material world. And we all have eternal spirit soul, belong to that spiritual world, and it is by learning how to properly utilize sound vibration. Actually, sound vibration is a very big science. Previously, Brahmanas, simply by sound vibration, they could light fire. Actually, when King Vena was somehow not a good king, and the Brahmanas, seeing that the whole society was being mismanaged, he had stopped all the jagyas, all the activities in temples, etc. So the Brahmanas, simply by sound vibration, Hare Krishna, no more Vena. They killed them actually by sound vibration. Sound is very powerful, even material sound. During the battle of Kurukshetra, we read about Arjuna and so many great personalities, especially Arjuna, who was the greatest. Arjuna had mastered the art of shooting arrows. In those days they were shooting arrows by imbibing the arrow with sound vibration. They would whisper some sound in the arrow, and the arrow would come out like fire. And then if somebody knew the art of shooting arrows, then he would whisper another kind of mantra, and his arrow would come out fire, finished, extinguished. This art, this science is lost today. That is material. What you speak of spiritual, transcendental sound. So hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam is introducing us actually to all the different arts and sciences. The actual arts and sciences that we find in Vedic books, Vedic literature, Vedic culture, largely they are unknown today. They are unknown to modern men. And unless we come to know about these different sciences, then we cannot live properly. We cannot succeed, even materially speaking. The world, because majority of people are devoid, are not having, don't understand this knowledge, don't know these sciences, don't know how to properly utilize sound vibration, don't know what is music. Modern music is not music. What to describe? Noise, yeah. It's noise, big noise. And the ego consciousness, they are attracted to noise. But Sri was, because he's a pure devotee, because Prabhupada was born in a Vaishnava family from birth. Isn't it? That's Prabhupada, his singing is so transcendental. Not only his singing, but his speaking. How many listen to Prabhupada lectures on a regular basis? Very good. Yeah. Everyone, as many of us, all of us actually, why as many? All of us, we should make that effort to, as regularly as possible, hear the transcendental sound vibration of Prabhupada, because not only is it transcendental because coming from the lips of the pure devotee, but Prabhupada spontaneously, he uses words in a very unique manner, number one. And secondly, somehow he has this natural ability of getting his message across in a very spontaneous, natural way. And he keeps the attention of his listener. It's very, very unique. I mean, I don't know of anyone who can give lectures with the type of annotations and different as to the Prabhupada. It's you could say, it serves as a dual purpose. We can receive, number one, the message, transcendental message of a pure devotee by hearing Prabhupada lectures, and also we can learn how to speak. When to say something with emphasis, as opposed to just talking in a very, linear manner. Prabhupada was very, very expert. Even if you happen to listen when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan in the last days, in his last days, he was in his room, he could not move actually, could hardly speak. But the words of a pure devotee, every single word is like so special. The devotees, they had a microphone. It's not a microphone, but they had a microphone close to Prabhupada, so that they could catch every word. And maybe this was just like a few days before Prabhupada actually left his body. Even at that stage, Prabhupada was giving very clear reports from the Bhagavatam. And then at one point he was explaining, you might have seen the short clipping actually, where Prabhupada was explaining that in Kali Yuga, at this time especially, the majority of people are so conditioned by the lower modes of material nature. Rajas and Tamas, Rajagun, Tamas. And therefore there is a need to bring everyone to a higher consciousness. That initial higher consciousness is the mode of goodness. And when Prabhupada is explaining like this, even though his voice is like very weak, he cannot speak very strongly, can hardly hear him. But even at that point, Prabhupada he measures the word, and therefore people should be brought. Prabhupada, he gives emphasis on the word brought, to bring. People should be brought to the mode of goodness. So Prabhupada, being a pure devotee, he was just very, very natural, very spontaneous. Actually, to go back home, back to Godhead, we have to become very natural and very spontaneous. And that's why we need to connect with what is most natural. What is most natural spiritually? That is bhakti, devotional service. And what is most natural materially are things connected with Mother Nature. I was looking at the decoration, and the decoration is very colorful, but it's not natural. We should endeavor to be natural. Natural means actual Vedic decoration is using banana leaves, mango leaves, isn't it? We should also be. Yesterday, I was listening to Shrikant, I believe how when I was coming from Mayapur, I stopped and first went to the airport in Kolkata, and one devotee had arranged some prasadam, we lived in Kolkata, brought it to the airport, and then we met on the boat with the president of the Rohini temple, new temple, very nice temple in Delhi. Now we have so many temples, it's difficult to catch up. He's a temple president, and so somehow we met at the airport, and then it was time, so we went to a place, quiet place, and we took prasadam. And as we were taking this, he was very happy. He had brought a small piece of pizza from Mayapur, but the devotee in Calcutta had prepared a big feast for us. So he was very happy that we get, unexpected feast. Krishna was arranging. And as we were discussing, although he's in a big temple in a big city, just like here, this big temple. Many of our temples are even bigger than this temple. But he was telling that actually something that we need to do in our big temples. We need to convince our temple presidents and our congregation, temple presidents, those who are representing temple presidents, and all of you are congregation members, that we occasionally need to step out of the city and go to the country, and to become connected with nature. That is, the majority of people in Vedic culture, they live with nature. They live with material nature. They cook. What do they cook with? Either with wood or with kaldam, or a combination of both. Prabhupada said the food that is cooked using kaldam, dry kaldam. Don't try to cook food with wet kaldam. There is a system that we have forgotten mostly, and that modern day society don't know. The quality of food, the taste of food. The taste of food is highest taste when we cook through the medium of kaldam. Why? Because cows are the mode of goodness, and kaldam is pure. So here, actually, you're all very fortunate because not too far away is Delhi, where we have so many cows, and there should be, we were discussing yesterday, there should be a close, very close connection, interaction between our devotees here in ISKCON Bangalore. There's so much open space. Our young generation can just run around, play with the cows, climb on trees, a lot of land for growing so many different things. This year actually, what is the activities? So everything actually begins with hearing. If we hear nicely, if we hear properly, if we hear, then our consciousness gradually will become changed. Our consciousness will become purified. And it is only with the purified consciousness consciousness that we will learn how to properly utilize sound vibration. So sound vibration, today we are being constantly bombarded by material sound vibration. We're being negatively influenced, badly affected by material sound vibration. Material sound vibration, which is actually affecting us in so many different ways. So our goal, our purpose as devotees is number one, to hear on a regular basis transcendental sound vibration, beginning with the Bhagavatam every day, beginning with some lectures of our founder Acharya, as I mentioned a little earlier. And by this regular hearing, then we will be able to gradually ourselves speak subject matters that are in connection with Krishna, perform activities that are in connection with Krishna, and in this way we will be more in connection with Krishna. The whole idea is to be in connection with Krishna, just like Prabhupada gives a very simple example. The rod, if you put it in the fire and leave it in the fire for a long time, the rod becomes an activity. We don't become, as Prabhupada said, we develop the qualities of Krishna. Those qualities are actually there within all of us, and it Sradhanam, Vishnu Smaranam, isn't it? This Vishnu Smaranam will come especially by Sradhanam Kirtanam, hearing and repeating. Whatever we hear, whatever we know, then we try to repeat, we try to share with others. So the Bhagavatam is our constant source of knowledge, of information, of inspiration. We can learn so many things from the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is the Amala Purana, the pure, unadulterated, uncontaminated essence actually of the knowledge. And in this way, this morning, we get to hear a little bit about this great personality, Srila Narada Muni. Narada Muni is famous for playing on his veena, and Krishna is famous for playing on his flute. Where's your flute? You got it? I want to hear your flute. We should have more. How many boys know how to play flute? Who knows how to play flute? Flute. Who's a flute player? You know how to play flute, no? You have to raise your hand, not your flute. Yeah. Only one flute player. Also, yeah, two. Only two. We should be teaching our boys, if you wear Mayapur, not Mayapur, well of course Mayapur also, but if you go to Hindley, if you sit down anywhere and start playing the flute, the cows will come. The cows are attracted by flute. You know that? That's how Krishna Bhagavan and the other cowherd boys, that's how they call the cows. That's how they mesmerize. They mesmerize the cows. Cows are very sensitive. Cows are already in the mode of goodness. Most of us are not in the mode of goodness. That's why we need to spend time with cows. Cows are in the mode of goodness when we spend time with the cows, when we do seva to the cows. We also gradually develop a mode of goodness. When we come to the temple, the Lord is of course above the mode of goodness, is in transcendental level. We also gradually develop transcendental qualities. So at least we should endeavor to associate with what is already on the transcendental platform, means with the Lord's devotees, with Krishna Prasadam, that is also transcendental through the Raghava Krishna. And the more we do this, then we will benefit and others also will greatly benefit. So it's very nice to again get opportunity to come to our ISKCON Bangalore and to see all of our wonderful devotees here. Thank you very much for the nice reception yesterday. And it was a little bit, we were planning to come earlier, sorry to keep you up a little bit late, but it was beyond our control. Our first flight was late, our second flight was late, but anyways, we, by Krishna's mercy, were able to arrive here safely, and always very nice to spend time in South India. South India is Dakshin Vrindavan. So I came from Uttar Vrindavan to Dakshin Vrindavan. I think this is the end of the Bhagavatam class. Any questions or comments? Questions? Is there a clock here? Where's the clock? Right there. Right where I cannot see it. Anyway, must be close to 9 o'clock? 9? 9:05. 9:05. 9:05? Okay. Close. No question. Yes.
I have mentioned the importance of hearing.
Yes.
So sometimes I feel that when I hear Srila Prabhupada and he becomes very angry
Yes.
in some classes.
Transcendental anger.
Yes.
Yes.
So when we hear that anger, for some time we feel very motivated. Oh no, Srila Prabhupada was like this. But then after some time that cools down, and so you have given all your life. How do you keep that anger that Srila Prabhupada gave or the inspiration he gave alive after so many years of his departure? Like,
How to keep anger?
no. That when he gets angry, we feel, oh, we should do this. We become not like this. We should not do this, or we should keep us more engaged in service.
Yes.
So after so many years of his departure, you are still keeping that motivation alive. What is the secret that we can also follow? Because some days we feel, okay, yes, then slowly it will go down and then back to square one.
Up and down, up and down. Actually, as instructed, she's asking how to maintain and remain motivated, positively motivated. Some people
The
are
mood that Srila Prabhupada wants us to carry, how to keep it.
Yes, so we need to remember, we need to understand that we are part of a very great mission, very unique mission, the mission of life for us and also for others, isn't it? And the more we are regulated in performing activities, especially in the matter of hearing, especially hearing from Srila Prabhupada, either by reading, hearing from Bhagavatam, or by hearing lectures, as I mentioned, then that motivation, that enthusiasm that Prabhupada demonstrated throughout his whole life, then some of that will come our way. Some of that will come our way the more we make that attempt. So it all begins actually in gradually making our sadhana more and more strong. If we have strong sadhana, means if we're nicely following, nicely regulated, then slowly, gradually, that will develop, that determination, that enthusiasm, that motivation for simply continuing and absorbing ourselves in Srila Prabhupada's mission, it will naturally come, automatically come. And of course, by Krishna's mercy, nothing happened.
One more thing, sometimes we feel that whatever Srila Prabhupada says comes like Chinese whispers.
Come like
Chinese whispers. No, that there is
Chinese?
whispers. It's a game, Maharaj, like
Oh,
when you say something.
I don't know any Chinese game.
So you say something, like Srila Prabhupada said something, then it goes to somebody, then it goes, by the time it comes to us, it is totally diluted.
Different, yeah, distorted.
I have personally seen few things like that. So at that time, what should be our mood? Like, there is an opportunity where we can be offending other Vaishnavas, or how do we deal with it?
When we see something that has become distorted.
Yes.
Okay.
We know that we have heard Srila Prabhupada saying a particular standard and it gets diluted or it gets
diluted or
it
changed.
becomes like a niyamagraha where you choose
Yes.
when you want to follow it, and sometimes you choose you don't want to follow it. What should be our move that time as a Vaishnava?
Well, we should always be eager to follow the original teachings and instructions given by Srila Prabhupada. If we see that others may not be doing or maybe changing something, then it is not really our business to directly bring it up to such individuals. We can bring it up to some, if it is important, let's say, that it be corrected, then we can bring it up to some authority. Because in the material world, especially Kali Yuga, the ahankar is very easily coming up, and therefore it's very important for us not to avoid, let's say, bringing it up directly to someone, unless we're very close to that person. We should want to see and keep things as it is, as Prabhupada has shown. And yes, the tendency is that over a period of time some things get changed or diluted, and it's part of our duty and responsibility to kind of bring it up to proper authorities, and then it's up to them to actually make whatever may be needed to bring the correction. Yeah? Yes. Yeah, you have to speak a little loud. Yes.
In today's shloka, we learned that Narad Muni was gifted with the veena.
Yes.
He was very obligated for that. And
Yes.
He dedicated his life to transcendental singing of the Lord's pastimes.
Yes.
So when there is obligation, there is automatic service coming out of the heart.
Yes.
So how do we inculcate from today's shloka something that will help us in chanting? Like, how can we feel obligated remembering the gifts which Jagannath has given us?
How to develop that sense of obligation.
Obligation.
Yes.
Because we forget the gifts of Krishna to us.
Yes.
So how do we remind ourselves what gifts Krishna is giving that is very precious for us?
That's a very good question. We have to. Everything is actually based on good hearing, isn't it? If we hear on a regular basis, this is the Bhagavatam. If we hear from other Vaishnavas and devotees, constant hearing, we are reminded. We are reminded of our dependent position, that we are totally dependent. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you said dependent and mighty.
Yes. Well, not really. Even if the mic is not there, we still speak. But it helps. So, that's why of all the activities in Bhakti devotion service, everything begins, isn't it, with hearing. Good hearing automatically will help other things. So, Yeah, the question, how to develop this sense of obligation, which is nicely exemplified here in Narada Muni, because he was personally gifted this Veena, and it's very rare. So we need to, when we hear, not only we should be like passive, but we should be thinking and meditating upon what we hear, and trying to remind ourselves of our most fortunate position. We have received this rare human form of life, isn't it? And therefore, we need to remind ourselves, we need to try and deepen our understanding of how we are actually, nothing belongs to us and everything is meant to be utilized, like this Veena that was given by Krishna to Narada Muni. Therefore, he wants to fully, completely utilize that Veena, that musical instrument in Krishna's service. So Krishna has given us everything that we have, that Krishna has given to us, isn't it? Nothing belongs to us. We need to think about, meditate upon, and try to develop this gratitude actually of what we are, every single day we are getting, when we wake up, we are given a new day, a new opportunity to render some seva, some service to Krishna. So it's a question of developing this this consciousness, and how many living entities can actually chant the holy name. Cats and dogs cannot chant the holy name. Other species in life cannot chant the holy name. It's only the human form of life who can chant the holy name. So this type of, it takes a little bit of time. We need to practice, we need to try and develop this mentality, this mood. Krishna consciousness is very much about mood and mentality, consciousness, isn't it? To become more conscious. There's a saying that one cannot become Krishna conscious until we first become conscious. First we must become conscious of where we are, what we have, what great gift. In the Bhagavatam, that verse Prabhupada often repeats. Nadevitu, majority of people, Navidu, they don't know Swartha Gatim, Swartha Gatim, this Artha means actually like a value, money or whatever. So this body, it is an asset. It is a rare opportunity to hear, to chant, to serve. So the more we, especially hear attentively, regularly, then we are reminded of our great fortune, and we will probably endeavor to utilize, just like Narada Muni is utilizing constantly, he's always playing his Veena for the pleasure of Krishna. So we will use the facilities of this body, isn't it, to speak about Krishna, to chant his words, to serve him in so many different ways. Like that. Yes, last question, I think. Yes.
Maharaj, does reading Srila Prabhupada's come under Shravanam, or does reading Srila Prabhupada books? Reading, yeah.
Yes.
Does reading fall under the same category as Shravanam?
Reading falls in the same category as?
Shravanam?
As Shravanam. No. Because sometimes devotees, they will, for example, sometimes devotees they will be reading and not attending Bhagavatam class, thinking that, well, I'm reading. There's a time for reading and there's a time for hearing. So hearing is most important. Reading comes down the line. Yeah. Hearing is after Prabhupada gave a list one time what is most important. Most important is to look after our health. Then hearing, attending Bhagavatam class. Then chanting. Then reading. Reading is even if you don't read, of course reading is important, but between hearing and reading, hearing is more important. Hearing. Yeah. Okay. Jai Bhakti Raghava Swami ki Jai Sri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
So, Bhakti Raghava Swami Maharaj ki Jai.